Hello all and welcome to CloudML. So in this video we will discuss one SQL interview questions which was asked in a Google interview. So let's get started. So this question was asked in the Google interview and the question statement was that assume you are given the table below containing the information on the searches attempted and the percentage of invalid searches by the country. So first you have to understand the problem. The problem says that you have given a table which shows the information that the searches attempted and the percentage of invalid searches. Means whatever you search on Google, maybe suppose I'm searching anything related to travel. So across the country, how many attempts were made to search the travel regarding the travel segment, and how many of those searches were like invalid or the Google could not find any solution about that search. So we have to write the query to obtain the percentage of invalid search result. Output the country in ascending order, total number of searches and percentage of invalid search rounded to 2 decimal places. Note that to find the percentages, multiply by 100, 0.0 and not 100 to avoid integer division. And this is the definition and assumptions. The definition of num underscore search is the number of searches attempted, and invalid underscore result underscore PCT is the percentage of invalid searches. So this is the and one more important thing, that in case some country has search attempts but does not have an invalid result, maybe suppose somebody from country Europe or some for some country in Europe like UK or maybe Spain, such countries have searched cat and it never got an invalid result. So that you should exclude, because the problem what Google is trying to solve is they want to understand the percentages of invalid result which has been like by countries, so that they can work on it and like improve their software or improve their interface accordingly. So this is some sort of questions, and this is the basic structure. And the column name should be country, search category, numbers of search and invalid search percentages. Out of it, country and search categories are string data type, and number of search or num underscore search is an integer data type. Invalid underscore result underscore PCT is decimal data type. This is the basic, like this was an interview question. So just considering that the input table consists of only one country, and the search category is home, tax, and travel, and numbers of search are 98,000 for tax, 1 lakh for travel, and invalid percentages or invalid or the percent of these searches for which the result was invalid was 1% for the tax segment and 3.25% for the travel segment. These two were null because nobody searched for like home or something. This is the assumption. Like you can increase your tables and you can also show to the recruiter, but yes, this is the basic table which I will work on. And such kind of result, your output result, your query should show that the country is UK, the total search is 98,000 plus 1 lakh, which is 1,98,000, and invalid result percentage is overall 2.14. How it is 2.14? So first of all, you should know how this calculation was done. So basically, so you know that number of searches done for the text segment is 98,000, out of which 1% is the invalid result. So what is 1% of 98,000? It is basically, you have to write 1% of 98,000, which is equal to 980. And then you have to find 3.25% of 1 lakh, which is obviously 3250. And when you will search, when you will sum both of these, so you will get 4230 as the calculate total number of invalid results. So you can say that out of 1,98,000, you have got 4,230 as invalid result. So what is the overall percentage? So overall percentage will be calculated like this, which is 4230 divided by 1,98,000, and which will give you nearly 2.136 something. So when you will round it to two values, it will come out to be 2.14. So this is the query which I want to show. So you should mind that these are the calculation, and we have to include it in the query. So let's get started in our SQL workbench. So I have already I have created a database called interview, and I have used it. I have created the table. I have created country with a data type of worker with the limit of the strings as 20. Similarly, category worker 20. Numbers of search is integer. Invalid searches is decimal. I have put 4,2. I have taken this as the final limited value for decimal, and I have inserted these values. So I have inserted home 25,002%. I have included tax 98,001%, and I have included travel with 1 lakh and 3.25%. This I have actually included. So I have added one section which is home, and I have done movies, and I have included null. I am showing that whenever somebody searched movies, the Google interface never showed an invalid result. So I have taken this 4 rows to start the query, and I can actually search star from category so that you can actually see the table. So this is the table which you can see here. So after this, let us start the solution. But mind you guys, there are n number of ways to produce the solution in SQL. I may have a one way, somebody will have the another way, but for the practical purpose, I will show you two ways. One is a very simple way, and one is somewhat complicated way by which I will get the answer. So let us start with one way, which is method 1. I will say this is method 1, and let us understand by this that how we can get to the solution. If you actually observe, so this is a very simple problem. I can categorize it to a basic or medium category question which was asked. But the point is, most of the time the recruiter will confuse you through the questions, the way they will frame the question. So what we have to do, first we have to remove this null. The first point, when I see this, first thing which I have to take into consideration is, first I don't want this row to be calculated in my formulas. Why? Because it is null values, and I don't want any null. Say if my invalid result is null, so I don't want to include that, because overall result will not get affected. And you have also seen in the question that you have to somewhere here assume that you are given that this is the question statement, and here in this case, in cases where countries has search attempts but does not have an invalid result percentage, it should be excluded, and vice versa. So we have to exclude this. So let us start first query for excluding this. So I will select country, then number of searches, then invalid result underscore PCT. Okay. Now for removing the null values, I will use the case statement. So what is the case statement? So you can I am just considering that you all know the syntax for the case statement. I am using case when this invalid, I'll just copy it here. Case when this invalid result PCT is not null, then number of search, else null. So what it tells you that when the invalid result percentage is not null, then go through the iterations. Otherwise, you consider it null. If it is null, then consider it null. And as if all these are like the invalid result percentage is not null, then number underscore search, and you have to end as like the what kind of string type you can give, or the what kind of heading you can give. You can actually say that. So I want to end as num search, for example 2. I can take this. Now I want to round the calculation. Here I am writing the calculation. The calculation will be num search multiplied by invalid result PCT, invalid result PCT divided by, I have to close the bracket, then let's divide by 100.0, and I want to round it up to 2 values, so I can do that, but for now I'll just keep it 0. I'll do it later. As invalid search. So see guys, I'm using the same kind of, so here in this case you should have invalid result PCT. So I'm taking one of these calculation as invalid search, and then I will be selecting this query from search category. Now this is important, where num search is not null. So I will all calculate this where the num search is not null, and also invalid result PCT is not null. So let's run this. So here you can see I have got rid of those null values and I got the 3 rows perfectly. So this is one query. Now what I have to do is I have to now calculate the percentage of invalid result, total percentage of invalid result. So what I can do, this is the much complicated method. So here I will be using with clause or the CTE. So here I can say that with invalid underscore results as, I'll open the parenthesis here, and I will write the entire, this all query, I'll just copy it here, because I will be using this as a CTE. So I will just copy it here and I'll just close the parenthesis. Now what I will do, I will select one second. So now I will this parenthesis, I can close it here. Then I can select again country, then sum of, I've used the sum aggregation here, sum of num search underscore 2. Why I'm summing it up? Because I have to sum the overall searches to find the percentage as total underscore search. Then I will again use the formula. I'll use the round function here. Then I will use sum of invalid search divided by sum of this I have to entirely copy. So this is the overall percentages which you can find, multiplied by 100.0 comma, I want to round it at 2 decimal places, as invalid result PCT. From invalid results now I will group by country and order by country. So here there is one error which is coming. Hundred comma 0 comma 2. This is not saying that it is valid. Okay. There is one parenthesis mistake. This is done. So this is how you can do it. Now if you run this, the entire thing from here, so you will get 2.12 as the invalid result percentage. So this is how the code is run. So this was some complicated method by which I have used CTE and all, but there is another method also, method 2, and which is a very simple method. You can also use it, and you can also try to do it by your own, because there are n number of ways by which you can solve this. So this one method is like, from select country, I'll just sum of num search as total underscore search comma One second. Huh? Then I'll use the formula directly without using two formulas. I'll simply use one formula, sum of num underscore search multiplied by invalid result underscore PCT divide by sum of num underscore search comma 2 as invalid underscore result underscore PCT. Once I do that, I can simply use from search. I want to query this all from directly from search category where num search is not null. So this is also available, guys. So directly you can say that I want to query this entire thing I want to query from search category where num underscore search is not null, and also invalid result PCT is not null. So I'm directly giving the condition that these both should not be null. Group. Now I will group this all, group by country and order by country. Now run this and you will get the same result here. So guys, this is how this question should have been answered. Like this was my method, like how you have to get it. But this was also one of the method where you have to use the CT and all. Actually, it is very important for in SQL basically that you should know various kinds of methods in order to solve a particular problem, or you have to query some kind of result. You have to know some extra method as well. So first method was with the with clause, and the second method was a very simple clause where I simply use the single formula with the entire this entire result, and then I queried it from the search category and grouped by country and ordered by country. And I just gave one single line of code which said that number of search is not null and invalid result is not null. And thus this is how I got it. So in this case, I used a different number, so I'm getting the different invalid result. But this is how overall you can actually these are different ways by which you can actually solve the SQL queries. So guys, that's it for the video. So if you like our video, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and share it with the others. Thank you.